Ooh, I don't even know where to begin with you.
You sound like my mother. Every time she calls, what are you doing? Why haven't you called? Here we go.
Yeah. Where do we start?
Where do we start?
No.
Man, it's been a journey.
That
We
it
can start
has.
there.
Yeah, that has. Well, I think that's a perfect way to start because we were just saying 1985, right?
Yeah, 1985. I started my career in 1985 with a local band here in San Antonio by the name of Misterio Band. I was a drummer and a
That's
background
right.
singer. And I guess when you start making money with gigs at shows that you do, I guess that's when your career normally starts because you got to start. You're making you're professional now,
Right.
so to say. But yeah, 1985, man, that's when I kicked it off.
Getting paid for your talents. That's when it
Exactly.
counts. 1985, when you sit here now, 2026, here we are, and you think of the 40 plus career that you've had. I mean, you said journey. I mean, kind of take us in through that journey a little bit.
Man, I mean, it's been it's like everything else. It's got its ups and downs. This business is. I can name a few producers that can tell you pretty much the same thing that I'm going to tell you. It's a roller coaster, man. You don't know what to expect. Sometimes you go down really really fast, and then you slow down again, and you go back down really really fast, and it's a crazy business. But the passion and everything that I bring to the table year after year, um, my music speaks for itself, man. And again, our fans, we can't. I was telling my wife, I said, man, there's nothing more. How do I say this? You take things in a very personal manner where your fans mean the most to you, because if you
Mm,
think about them, they're the ones who put you where you are. So you give it all you got, man. Every performance, every show, for them.
right.
And 40 some odd years, I'm still here because of them. You know.
It says a lot. I want to talk about. Let's go there with the fans because I can only imagine like you're on stage, you're like jamming out, and regardless of whether you're at, you have these loyal fans who come and see you, and then when they're singing the songs with you, that's got to mean something.
It's a gratifying feeling, man. It's something that you can't put into words. When you're standing on stage and they're singing all the songs, right along with you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're it's like a perform like a Broadway show. You're on stage and you're watching the performer,
Mm.
and you're acting out exactly what he or she's doing, and
Yeah.
you're wording you're mouthing the words, and
Yeah.
it's just an experience that I wish that on every singer that's coming into the industry want to chase their dreams. Do it for your fans, and when you get something, when you see something like that among the fans, the crowd and the masses, right? They're singing along with you, man. You can't explain that. It's a feeling that you can't. There's no words to explain that. It's just gratifying.
With that, do you think about too I think for like obviously times have changed and people are now streaming music and downloading music. It's so fast now, with albums releases like that. But I also think what's special about Tejano music is that it's the younger generations. It's those that maybe are slowly growing up with it, how they can easily access the music than maybe beforehand.
Well, it's funny that it starts with the parents, right? With mom and dad and abuelitos, abuelitas. They start los
Yeah.
tios, las tias. It starts with them because that's how I started. You know, growing up with my jefita, my mother was, and still is to this day. She'll quiz me on. eh, You remember this singer here? You're back in the day. And I was chavalon. I was 10, 9, 10 years
Little
old,
kid.
and she had her albums. The all these stars back then. The recording artists that were doing their thing, like Little Joe, Sonny Ozuna, Agustin Ramirez, Freddie Martinez, just to name a few. And it started with her. Has
Mm.
she not introduced me to her world, I would have never I probably would have gone another direction. But my mother is very, very how do I say this, man? She loves music to begin with. Okay, and in every genre of music, she's always been the one to steer me in this direction. Go and listen to this, listen to her, and listen, and you grow like that. And it kind of grew on me, as a 9-year-old little boy, 10 years old. I was doing, singing in the kitchen, out in the backyard, and playing with the kids, always singing, and it started at home. It started with her, it started with my tios and tias, and hasta la fecha, I mean, look where I'm at now, man. I'm very successful and very grateful and humble and just flattered beyond words, man, for people that say the nice things about me, that followed my career. And I'm just, like I said, I'm very blessed. Very, very blessed.
I've always wanted to ask you, I don't think I ever know how, obviously you're known as La Voz, the voice. How did you get that? I don't know that story.
There was a representative that was working with Sony Discos back in the day in 1993.
And this is when you were solo at that time, right?
Yeah,
you were
in 1993, I joined the Sony Discos family.
Okay.
And a lot of artists did, I could go on, La Mafia, Eddie Gonzalez, all these other groups. Anyway, there was a representative from Sony Discos we were doing the radio tour. The album had just come out, and we were doing the radio tour, interviews in the mornings and 5 o'clock in the evening and stuff like that. Well, this guy, his name is Jose Rosario. He's a fantastic songwriter and a great friend. He took me to my very, very first interview with Johnny Ramirez.
Oh, wow.
As a matter of fact, here in San Antonio. And while we were there in the morning doing the morning radio interview, promoting the new album, they asked him, there was several DJs in the morning at that time, then they asked him, well, his name is Jay Perez, and the name of the album is Te Llevo en Mi, his first album. Does he have a nickname? What does the record label call him? And I said, well, they don't. And Jose turned around and says, they call him the Voice. What? The Voice. So that I mean, you want to elaborate on that? What, why?
Yeah.
Why? So, well, if you know his story, he can sing just about anything, from R&B to country to Tejano to rancheras and cumbias and baladas and all that stuff. I'm like, well, I was just getting my feet wet in the industry, man, I'm like, man, you're giving me too much credit here, And so se quedó, the name stuck.
It did.
It stuck since 1993 when Jose Rosario said what he said there at the morning show. It stuck, and to this day, man. I've even named one of the albums The Voice.
That's right.
I can't recall what year it was, but I named one of the albums The Voice, and that was not I didn't come up with that idea, but sometimes the fans get involved, and they want to be involved. Say, hey man, let me name your album. Hey, what are you gonna name the album? And so it's been fun, man. It's been a lot of fun. So I mean, but that's where that came from.
But beyond that, it's like, well, you got the pipes to back it up too, so it makes sense,
Thank
you know? I mean, but was that at all something that you embraced? I know you said at the beginning was a little bit, you're giving me a lot of credit, but you obviously have embraced it through the years.
I mean, man, like every singer that walks into the studio and records, does their magic in the studio, you want to work hard and harder and top the next album. And how do you top the album, exactly before. I try to live up to that, man. I really do. I try to live up to La Voz, right? And like everybody else, man, I have my bad days.
Of course.
There's a lot of, social media can be rough, man. They can be cruel. And there's a lot of, now that we have, people videotaping your shows, you're live, then they're streaming live and all that good stuff. It can help you or it can break you. And I've seen a lot of my shows, live shows, where I'm out of tune. I'm singing these songs that I'm like, I can't hear myself, and I'm either sharp or flat, and all that's already out there in the world, so for people to hear. And then you come back home and you think to yourself, I'm supposed to be la voz, the voice, but yet I just saw myself on this video here, and I heard myself on this video, and I critique myself. I'm my worst critic, man. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm my worst enemy. I seek perfection. I seek perfection in my performances, and sometimes I don't get it. I see perfection in my musicians, and sometimes I see the videos and I hear the music back, and I don't hear that. But it all comes by. It all come and you combine all that together. When it does gel, it's magic. It's magic. And now you hear the voice singing the voice, being the voice, la voz being la voz, right? That's when I have a good night. But and all my peers, my colleagues that are watching this interview right now, what's up. That's the truth. When you think that you're very good at one thing, but next thing singing the same song for 20 years or 30 years, and you're gonna have you're gonna have those nights where those same songs don't sound the same anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna have a bad night. That's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is.
I always want to ask you, is there a out of all the songs? I mean, obviously, we'll talk about the new album that just came out a month ago today.
Oh, yeah.
But out of all the songs, is there one that you just like? It's like effortless. You love performing, or one that sticks out to you?
I'm before I started singing Tejano music, I was influenced by R&B.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because my mother introduced me to Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin, and the list goes on and on. One song that really sticks out the most to me is one song that I always enjoyed singing was Me and Mrs. Jones. Mm-hmm. It's a classic, right? It's an old R&B classic. It's been one of my all-time favorites, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite songs where I love to sing. It sticks out. It just does. And the fans, they used to request it a lot, back in the day. Now it's settled down. But as far as Tejano music, man, is most of the stuff that I write. I've written songs for Roxy, and those songs stick out a lot. I've written songs in the past, like Lo Que Yo Tengo, Ven A Mi, songs that have taken me to the Billboard Awards, given me Grammy nominations, and you name it, man. I mean, I've been part of pretty much every award ceremony you can think of. Again, it's because of the songs that stick out the most.
Yeah.
But to sit here and say I have one that sticks out the most, one that really I couldn't really tell you. Yeah. There's quite a few, and like I said, I've been blessed to record and written some good songs, man. And they're not all gonna be hits, but you cross your fingers and you pray that, hey, this song makes it to number one. Everybody wants to be that one. Exactly. But
Me and Mrs. Jones is a good one. That's a solid one.
Well, it's a classic.
Classic, yeah.
It's
really
a classic.
is.
If you like R&B, old school classic, I'm your man.
Well, that's what I've always loved when listening to your albums. I don't know if I ever told you, but my mom, well, I think she's a huge fan. So I grew up listening to you, and I remember it's like every Saturday, it's like having to clean the house, like really early in the morning. And I was forced to listen to Jay Perez.
You were forced.
I was forced to listen to Jay Perez and clean the house.
This interview's over.
No, but I mean, I'm a fan and I love your music. But no, I remember that that's what I love about Tejano is that, whether it's outside at the barbecue with your tios and your tias and, your music in the background or cleaning the house on a Saturday, those things. That's the thing about, I think, Tejano music and what is so special, and you can obviously talk about this, is just those memories, and it takes you back to those times.
Yeah, we just speaking of that, we just did a video on our latest single off the Seguiremos album under Freddie Records. We shot a video. My wife, Roxy.
That's right.
Edited the video. I'm not directed the video. And that song takes everybody back to the backyard barbecues when las tias were las tias and the tios were the tios, and just the whole family just knocking off, man. And that's what the video is all about. And since you brought that up, it kind of when I showed my mom the video, it kind of took her back. She got emotional about it because of one of my tias had passed away. It kind of reminded her of
Wow.
those days, when we were
Mm-hmm.
chiquitos and the tias were having the backyard barbecues and the music was going on and
Yeah.
the whole family's there. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just it's something you can never, it'll never leave.
It won't.
Never.
Yeah. It always has those memories with you. With that album, so it was released a month ago today.
Yeah, man, as a matter of fact.
What I love about with you is that it seems like in every album you do you get your Tejano, but you do sprinkle in whether it be country
Yeah.
or R&B.
Yeah.
And it's kind of in this one too. That's kind of like your DNA. You want some of that in there, right?
Yeah.
Is that a variety to your fans?
Well, of course, because we were talking about this a while back about what's next on the next album. You've done R&B, you've done country, a mariachi. What's next? I mean, to me, if the formula's been working all these years, why change it? You give the fans what they want. It's not what I want. It's not what my musicians want. It's not what my producer wants. It's what the fans want. We ask our fans, because I'm 62 years old. Okay. And if you think about it, in 1993, when I was doing, my career had just really, really took off. It was just getting started, but it was, climbing. Those fans that have been with me since 1993 are still here today.
Mm-hmm.
And some have gone, some have passed on. But those same fans are the same ones that tell me, you need to record another R&B or another country on Tejano, on your next Tejano album. So you listen to those fans and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. Don't change it, man. If it's working for you, why are you gonna change it? Mm-hmm. This music has changed so much in the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of groups have come up with and have changed the whole game, man. They've changed the entire game. But the true Tejano fans, old school Tejano fans, they know where to find the down roots 100% Tejano music. Mm-hmm. They know. That's why they come to our shows. The Ramirera fans, the Jay Perez fans, the Shelly Lares fans, Stephanie Montiel, this goes on, because it's on and on. They know where to find good Tejano music, and I'm old school, man. What can I say? Yeah. And I asked you earlier before the interview how old you were, because we were talking about, you were mentioning certain things and certain groups and stuff, like certain types of music that I'm like, how do you know this? Mm. So if you think about it, the people, our fans that are in their 20s and 30s and 40s, you think about it. I mean, they've been sticking around for all these years, and now you got the people that are the fans that are turning 30, 31, 32 years old, and they're like, how do you know this music? How do you know this song?
Yeah.
They'll go to my shows and I'll see them and I'll meet them, greet them, and then I see them singing along. Like, man, that person looks like he's 20 years old. How does he know this song?
Yeah.
And but man, it's been a great journey, man. And I'm not trying to speak in past tense. I still have some time left, and I think that my Tejano roots and the people that have passed on, like my mentors and my heroes, like Jimmy Edward, and just to name that, like him alone was the one that really, really taught me a lot about microphone control and stuff like that. Those are the ones that I listen to. The people that are still alive that we still have, like Little Joe. He's in his 80s, man. He's still.
Ruben Ramos. Also in his 80s.
Agustin.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about, God, the list. You learn from people who know, and I've been blessed and honored to have met some of these superstars, man, that opened the doors for us, paved the way for musicians and artists like myself. And like I said, I mean, not to stray away from the question, but I could write a book right now.
So much.
And there's just so much that's happened since I was 10 years old. I joined a band when I was 10 years old. As a matter of fact, I have a picture right here. This is the picture. Look, right here. I don't know if you can get a shot of that, but this picture right here, I was 10 years old. And that's me right there.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me sitting down right there.
Look at the locks.
Yep. Yep. 10 years old from the west side of Tejano Homes.
Yeah.
And the name of the band was called Young and Free. And we were under the direction of Mr. Mike De Leon, who started the whole thing for me. He started me, you know, just in front of a mic, you know, and to this day, man, I'm going full force, and there's no stopping me. You know,
I love that.
God says it's time to go. You know what? I'll hang up the mic. It's time to go. But as long as He keeps me alive and keeps me going, I'll keep singing for our fans and you know and doing what I love to do with Tejano music, especially Tejano music.
Right.
You know.
You have to. I'm assuming you got to protect the money maker here. I mean, do you do a lot of things?
Yeah,
I'm just
I mean,
curious.
you know, it's my voice has been good to me, so I got to be good to it.
Okay.
You know, I got to take care of it. You know, it's taking care of my family. You know, there's certain rituals that singers have. You know, before the show, before hitting the stage, right? And then during the week, también, you know, you're at home and you know, you take it easy because this is my instrument. You know, I don't strum a guitar. I don't play bass. I don't play drums. I don't. I wish I did. But when I get sick with a cold or the flu, whatever, you have to find ways to improvise and weave through all that just to get by, you know, to do the show. You don't have to explain to the fans what's going on. You know, they don't care. They come and they want to see a show.
They paid to see you.
They paid to see you. You better sing.
That's right.
And but you know, it happens. We're human, you know. And I take care of myself as much as I can. And I've had several procedures done on my vocal cords already since 1990, the year 2000, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yeah, I was out for like, I think 90 days. So they went in there and removed the polyp, and then they stitched me up. No singing, no talking, no humming, no nothing. Imagine that for 90 days, man.
I couldn't do it.
And then I just recently had another one done. You know, just a minor procedure, just a checkup. You know, just to make sure that I'm okay. But I have a great ENT, man. Great ENT. And Roxy is always telling me, you know, hey, it's time. You know, you got to go back. And I hate it, man.
I'm sure.
I really do. I really hate it.
But you got to do it.
It's like driving a car. You know, you got to maintenance the car, right? So.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, I do what I got to do. Sometimes I slip.
Yeah.
I'm human, man.
We are.
You know, but I try to take care of my voice as much as I can. I know when the time is coming, the weekend is coming. You know, you prepare yourself mentally. You know, but physically you have to be 100% ready.
Yeah.
Or you can't get on stage and do what you like to do.
Let's talk about the proclamation, because that's obviously part of the reason why we're here. For Bexar County is recognizing you among other artists for your contribution, in music, what you mean to our cultura, our culture. What does this recognition mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's part of my journey. It's part of who I am. You know, it's part of what I've accomplished all these years, and to be recognized in this manner is something very special to me. Not just to me, but for my family. You know, and you know, my biggest supporters are the small crowd that's under this roof, which is my wife, you know, and our puppies. Those are my biggest supporters, man. And you know, and like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time, and to be recognized like this and have the support and the love from the fans, and especially my family, it means everything. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And I think, too, another added layer for you is, you know, you're one of San Antonio's own. You're a proud West Sider, as you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
To be recognized in your own home, that's got to be extra special, too.
Well, I mean, San Anto is, what can I say? I was born the West Side. You know, there's the Chiquito, as young as I can remember, as far back as I can remember, I've been singing. I mean, whether I did it right or I did it wrong, it doesn't matter. I've been singing. And born and raised and grew up in those Casiano homes in the west side of San Antonio, wasn't very easy
Right.
or something to brag about, but it was something that will always remember. And my roots and my ground is where blood, sweat, and tears, man. It all came right there, right then and there. I saw things at my age that a kid should never see. I went through experiences where no child should. But I grew from that. Because again, thanks to my mother, I give her a lot of credit for that. And and as you get older, you realize that hey, I remember where I came from. I like to forget all the bad things that I remember, but I can't forget where I came from, because it's those same roots where I stood strong as a little boy. To this day, I'm still here.
Getting emotional behind that. Is it just taking you back? You're thinking of that, or?
It's like I say, man, if I could write a book, man, it'd be a juicy one. I'll tell you right now, it'd be it's something else.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of my roots, man. I'm proud of where I came from. I'm proud of like I said, it straightened me out. And as you get older, you realize that life is, as they say, it's hard. It's very hard, man. It's very hard.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. La vida es corta. Y corta se va. And you have to come to your senses and realize that when you make decisions in your life, that they're going to benefit everybody that stands by you. You have to be careful, whether it's your career or with your family. And my career has brought me to this point, and my fans, my family, have all been there all these years. And I'm grateful and very humble, and just I can't thank my family and our fans enough for all that they've done for me and brought me to where I'm at right now. Yeah. And our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has been his latest hand on my shoulders many a nights, many a days where I just felt like I can't do this, man. I can't. Give me the strength to move on. I have a good 3 shows coming up this weekend. Physically, I can't do it. You need to help me. I'm asking you. You need to help me. And if you don't believe,
right,
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm with you. Amen.
And it's sometimes it gets pretty spiritual in the house, man. It really does, living with Roxy, and but she keeps me in line, man. And like I said, we pray a lot, and my career has goes left field sometimes. Sometimes it goes in the right direction. Sometimes it doesn't. But like I said, I'll say it again. That's just life.
It is. Thank God for Roxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a journey, man. It's been an experience.
It has. No, it has. Well, what I love what you said earlier, though, is you're not done yet. You still got it in you. You still keep going.
Yeah, I'm not ready to throw in the towel just yet. I'd like to think and believe that I'm at the top of my game. And I see a lot of artists, a lot of singers that are coming up and changing the music. I get it, man. You follow your dream and you chase it, and make your dream a reality. Like I did. And I'm always here to, give advice to anyone who will listen, because I took advice from people who knew,
right?
And it helped me, But I'm not ready to give it up, man. I'm having too much fun still, at my age.
That's what it's about. You're doing what you love and having fun with
Absolutely.
it. 2026, you'll be touring, still going around?
Yeah.
People can still check you out?
Yeah, brand new year, man, and you know we're kicking off the year. Kind of slow in January, but we do have a couple of more shows to do at the end of the month, and then it just takes off.
It's good.
It just takes off, man. We're blessed. I'm so grateful, you know, for all this work, and we thank, of course, the promoters and the booking agents. My wife books the band. Joey Rodriguez books the band. Joe Casillas and Frankie T. I can, you know, some of these guys that have been with me for years. So we're blessed to have the work that we have coming in this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's great. Anything else you want to say to your fans, or anything you want to let them know?
I don't know what I can say that I haven't already said in this interview.
We said a lot.
You know, again, it's without our fans, we wouldn't be where we are right now. Without the program directors, without the DJs, we wouldn't be where we're at. And without the support from our family, you know, and our closest friends, we wouldn't be where we are. I wouldn't be where I'm at. So, but again, man, thank you, Henry, and all everybody there at KENS 5, man, for, you know, airing this interview. And God, I haven't done an interview like this, and I can't remember the last time. You know, I don't normally get emotional like this because you're not supposed to, man. But like I said, I'm not a machine, I'm human.
Right.
You know.
Well, I will tell you, I was surprised you got emotional. I was not expecting that.
Well, I wasn't expecting it either, but here we are.
But here we are. But you know what? I tell people it's that in a lot of interviews, people say, you know, I really, whatever interview it is, I don't want to get emotional. I said, you just got to, sometimes it is what it is. It's realness, you know, it is. It's how you felt in the moment, and it's how you felt in the
exactly.
moment.
And it's, you know, it's again, man, I don't do interviews. I rarely do. And it's probably because, you know, I sometimes don't say the right things. You know, I'm not a very a good speaker, so to say. I'm not that's what you hear is what you get. That's just the way I am. And I'm as real as they come, man. You know, I have no filters. But, you know, sometimes it gets me in trouble, and sometimes every once in a while I'll say the right thing. You know? But again, thank you for you know, allowing me to, you know, express myself a little bit and give you a little insight of who Jay Perez is.
Well, and I think, no, it's vice versa. Thank you. Because I think for a lot of fans of yours, when they see this interview, they're going to see a side of you that they don't normally get to see. You know, this kind of like this, but it's another, you know, I always say it's like an onion. You peel a layer of it, and there's different layers of all of us.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing a lot of different layers from you. So I appreciate you for giving us the time.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the proclamation.